Well, welcome back to the Ropes Family Podcast. Last week you heard Courtney do that.
It was better this week.
No, it was way better last week. I was impressed.
It's horrible.
I just want to know what people thought when they first heard that. Like it was like oh, that's new. That's different. So we've doing this. So what we were talking about is actually kind of pertaining to this. For 85 episodes, I guess technically 84 episodes, I have said, welcome to this Ropes Family Podcast. And you got to do it for one of them.
Threw me in there.
I was telling, or Elliot was making fun of the podcast or making fun of me or something, or pretending to play podcast. And he says, welcome to the Crab Family Podcast. And he was like just being silly about it because he has heard this podcast. So what we're talking about is today is the 2-year anniversary of this podcast.
Yay! It's a long time.
It's 2 years of episodes. Now we didn't do an episode every week.
No,
we took the summer off. We missed a couple weeks here and there. Mm-hmm. That's why it's not 104 episodes, right? Because that's 2 years. That's why it's only 85. But we needed to do that. We need to take some time off. We can't do. I mean, we could, but it just doesn't work out with schedules like that. But what I wanted to do, Courtney, is just kind of talk about 3 specific things. So what was our goal of starting this podcast 2 years ago, and what have we learned over the last 2 years about while doing this podcast, and then what's in the future of this podcast? So that's just kind of what I wanted to talk about. We've been talking about what you want to talk about.
So now it's your turn.
Yeah, and of course, one of my favorite things to talk about is podcasting. I like to talk about just podcasting in general. Mm-hmm. I guess I could give a quick stat update.
Yeah.
Let me get the...
Tell us all about it.
I'll tell us all. Hey, and I wish more podcasts would do this just because I'm curious of knowing, how many, what is a good pod... what is a good podcast? Mm-hmm. What is a good podcast number, status, or whatever? So all time, over the last 2 years, we have received, our podcast has been listened to 2,631 times as of right now.
That's awesome.
That's pretty good. That's about a little over 100 downloads a month, maybe. And especially if you take out the months that we didn't do podcasts, mm-hmm. So it's a pretty consistent number of about 100. Over the last 90 days, we've had 411 downloads. The last 30 days is 240. In the last 7, we've had 40. So, we're pretty consistent with our numbers, and we are so grateful for all of our listeners that are. And I really like to read the locations that we have, because some of them are hilarious. So over the last, 5 episodes, we've had listeners from the United States, Canada, France, and South Korea. Let's see. Let's find the wildest one. So let me read out all of the countries that we've been listening to. So it says the United States, Canada, Brazil, Singapore, the Russian Federation, Japan, Israel, Spain, India, and Vietnam. Let's see. It says see all countries. Let's see. Oh, okay. Germany, Argentina, South Korea, Italy, Australia, France, Ecuador, Seychelles, Ukraine, Chile, Malaysia, United Arab Emirates, United Kingdom, Belarus, Saudi Arabia, South Africa, Finland, Sri Lanka, Peru, Albania, Slovenia, Costa Rica, Cayman Islands, Montenegro, Paraguay, Armenia, Guatemala, Puerto Rico, Belize, Turkey, Indonesia, Barbados, Rwanda, and Uruguay. We are a worldwide podcast.
Dominican Republic was not on there, was it?
Was it on there?
But we listened to it when we were in the Dominican, so it should have been on there.
I don't know if that counts because it knows where you're from.
Oh, man, I did it on purpose.
Oh, to have more?
To have Dominican, but anyway.
No, I didn't see Dominican Republic on there.
I know some people in some of those countries, so.
Yeah, so, I'm pretty sure, our friends from other countries are listening, so that's.
Maybe not what was that really random one that I hadn't even heard of? Seychelles or something.
Yeah, I don't even know how to say it. Seychelles. Okay. Seychelles.
Yep, don't know.
Seychelles. I don't even know that's a country.
Okay, so maybe that one is a bot, but
yeah.
Maybe Russia.
The Russian Federation. What's up, Russia?
Hey, Russia. Privyet.
I mean, we've got both sides of the war on there. We got Ukraine and Russia going on.
I know people in Ukraine, so that makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, we're like I said, we're a worldwide podcast. And so I don't know if that's like a normal thing for bots to just listen to podcasts, but I'd like to think that there's somebody in Uruguay just listening, maybe as one listening from Uruguay.
They didn't enjoy it, but they listened to it.
They didn't keep
It's
listening.
fine.
They did not keep listening. But what else we got? Let's see, how many episodes? Well, I sent to you, Courtney, the other day that we got a congratulations because we've had over 25,000 or 2,500 downloads. That's a big deal. And just to put that into perspective, and then we've posted over 84 episodes. And so most podcasts that get started, they don't make it past 5 episodes. Even more podcasts that get started don't make it past 10. So we are in the top 1% of podcasting because we've had almost 80 episodes of podcasting.
If you've ever listened to our first ones, you would have thought we would never have made it past 5. But
and I knew that going in. And so I was like, this is going to be bad for the first couple episodes. We're not going to have any flow. We're not going to be comfortable.
it was so nerve-wracking.
Yeah. Like you've never used a microphone before.
No. Or headphones.
Or wore headphones and heard people talk.
It
And
was weird.
I remember when I first started, I was like, don't be surprised. I might pull out some radio announcer voice or something that I have to. And that quickly I was like, no, I can't. I'm not going to be that. Because I used to do this bit at Guitar Center. Every time we get a phone call, because I'd have to be like page somebody in another department. So I'd be like, drums, I want. Like all, I don't know the right word, but like extra PA announcer voice guy, because I like doing it. It's like my time to shine on the intercoms at Guitar Center.
That was your podcast for the day.
So I really went into. I was like, maybe I could just be like that guy the whole time. But I think like the more we've done this, the more we've the better we've gotten. Like we're sitting here very comfortable, ready to just talk or whatever about whatever.
We don't have 50 pages of notes in front of us. So we can't
we don't have
stray from.
We don't have any notes.
That was me when we first started.
Yeah, the notes thing. So let's go back all the way to the beginning. So what was your goal? I know I probably had a different goal, but what was your goal behind doing this podcast when we started it?
Well, you brought up the idea of a podcast, and I immediately said no because I didn't want to hear me speak. And then I was like, well, maybe, but I hate speaking in front of people, which this is not technically in front of people.
Only 2,500.
But not in front of them. So listen to me on the radio. Anyway, and so at first I was really freaked out by it, but then I realized how many people we could actually like touch or how many people we could minister to and make a difference, maybe make a difference in their lives. And I was like, well, we'll try it and see.
Yeah. For me, I have always wanted to start a podcast ever since I heard somebody doing podcasting. I'm like, man, that'd be really feel like a great thing to do. And then I got overly obsessed about it. But like everything else that I got really obsessed with, like airplanes or like guitars or whatever, I think podcasting is here to stay as far as what I like doing. Like I like playing guitar. It's like here to stay. I made the investment to do it. I need to get better at editing out coughing noises.
Sorry.
Just kidding.
Didn't mean to.
Now I lost my train of thought. But it's like podcasting is probably something that I will do regardless if our church has a podcast, which I think we could do this podcast forever and it would be fine.
Yeah.
It is a lot of work. It's a lot of thinking power.
He does all the editing and stuff. I just record it and then walk away.
That is probably the easiest stuff is editing and actually recording. It's easy. The prep work is the hardest part for me.
For me
That's
too.
something we could talk about that we don't ever talk about.
It's true.
Is prepping. So when we come up with an episode idea, what is your kind of thought process for prepping an episode?
Well, I start by finding a verse. It's usually my very first thing. Finding a verse
start with the Bible. That's
that goes with whatever we're talking about.
Yeah. And
if I find a verse, then I kind of expand on it. And as we know, I'm not the real theological one here. And so I do what I can and what I know. And then I talk about it, and I'll look for like quotes, or we all know I read a lot of blogs, and I'll just look for information just to put into it. And then if I have to have a definition, as we all know. But then other than that, if I can't find a verse, then I have to go, okay, I don't know what I'm talking about here, and ask for help.
Yeah.
So I've done that too.
Which I really enjoy that when you go and like ask other people like, their thoughts. I really enjoy that because I think it adds a little element of like realness to this. Like and I think most of our listeners know who we are personally. I would say probably 99.8% know us. Besides the people in Uruguay, I think everybody else probably knows us. And so it's like there's a connection there. Like, and we know who we're talking to, which is a good connection there. But as far as when I prep, I kind of think about the topic. I like to marinate. I don't know, that's kind of a weird word. Marinate, like just kind of think on it. And it's hard for me to put pen to paper or type it out until I get right before we're going to record, just so I don't forget. Back in the day, we were like almost manuscripting the whole.
It was ridiculous.
Which, I mean, that was nice. It was good practice, I think, for us to get to the flow of like how to actually structure a conversation that people would maybe listen to, instead of like just what are we talking about, you know?
Yeah.
But as far as prep, I will do the same thing. I'll start with like if we're talking about depression or anxiety or whatever, or you know, there's verses that you can go to immediately, or thankfulness. There's verses you can go through immediately that you can apply to that. But I think we got off of why we started the podcast, but I think part of why I wanted to start it is to give another outlet for parents and families to be able to, originally we wanted the whole family to be able to listen to it. But as I quickly discovered with my own family that they don't want to listen to a pod. My kids don't care about podcasts.
My kids just want to know why they're on it. Why'd you say my name? Why'd you tell that story about me?
Yeah. And then I get overwhelmed trying to listen to a podcast, and my kids are trying to tell me about what they did at school. It's not like music. Like you can just turn music up and down or you'll miss something. So I've as we've gone, I've realized like parents are going to listen to this on their way to work or wherever you're at.
Right.
Or Allison's been listening to it at home or whatever. My mom listens to it on a walk in the mornings when she's running away from dogs that are chasing her.
And saving people from fires.
Side note, my mom is we were trying to come up with the right term the other day. My mom has done this a few times, which is crazy, is rescued people from their house being on fire. So over the weekend, it was Elliot's birthday party, and she said a volunteer smoke detector. That's what she wants to be.
I like that. Good job, volunteer smoke detector. We're proud of you.
So Elliot's birthday party was over the weekend, and behind the place where the party was, when they were pulling up, they noticed some smoke coming from a backyard, and they went over, and you're like, oh, maybe it was just somebody barbecuing, and then they kind of got closer, and they realized it was a big plume of smoke for it to be a barbecue thing. And so they luckily this fence had little doggy windows, and they kind of peeked in and saw that their pergola in their backyard was on fire. And so they went and knocked on the door, and the lady was like a little sweet old lady. She was asleep. She was napping. So they woke her up and said your house was on fire. They called the fire department. And so, man, that's the second time my mom has done that.
Way to go, volunteer. Fire detector. What did
volunteer
she say?
Smoke detector.
Smoke detector.
Volunteer smoke detector. So shout out to my mom. She's if your house is on fire, maybe she'll tell you about it.
You should see it.
But anyway, how did we get to that? We were talking about why we started the podcast and how it's changed. So why we started the podcast to maybe give parents another outlet to just not feel like they're doing parenting on their own, and decide and give tips and tricks. Tricks is not the right word. Tips and ideas or challenges to disciple their families, right?
Well, I think also to make them realize they're not alone.
Yeah. Because
sometimes as parents, it's like, I'm the only one that's going through this with my kid.
Yeah.
Or my family or whatever it is. But we're always so real on here that people are like, oh, we're doing the same thing at our house. And you're like, see, you're not alone.
Yeah. And I think what this podcast has evolved into is Something that is more like that, like
Yeah.
camaraderie building over, like, we're not teaching anything. I mean, we might teach a little bit, but we're not, like, instructing you on how to be a parent.
Right.
We're parents ourselves trying to figure this out as we go. You know, it's not like it's a camaraderie thing more than, I think, an instructional thing, which I think is what people need. And it's kind of community, right? It's more of, like, that. Like, we don't...
More relatable.
Yeah. And I think that's the point of a podcast, you know, to be almost relatable, like you're in the conversation with us, which is good. So if you were one of our listeners at our church and you want to be on our podcast, just tell us. We'll put you on it. We'll interview you, talk about something. Okay. What was the second question? I don't remember.
Why?
What have we learned from while we're doing this podcast?
Oh, what have we learned? Yeah.
So what are some things that you've maybe taken away or learned while we've done this podcast?
Like from the actual topics or?
Anything from the reason, from prepping to while we're talking about it, or something that's just kind of stuck out to you while we've been doing this ministry?
I have learned that prepping for podcasts really keeps me in the Word. And that is something I've said it before that I've always struggled with, is reading my Bible. Like, I do my daily verse. I'll read a chapter a day. Because that's not diving into the Bible for me. And so when I prep for podcasts, I have to find verses. I have to see, because I also went to a Christian school and we used a lot of verses to, like, as the school motto or whatever. Well, if you look back and you, like, look in context, that verse doesn't even, like, really make sense in how you're using it.
Yeah, exactly.
And so I like to dive in and just full force look and read and see what the verse actually means. So that's one thing. Another thing, it's been really funny, but I'm friends with a lot of people and really good friends. But on this podcast, they're like, I never knew that you thought that way.
Yeah.
I never knew you felt that way. I mean, because I just say so many things that they're like, yeah, I had no idea.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, so that's interesting.
Yeah.
And then I've learned a lot of just communication skills, like just talking to people. So I'm an awkward person. We all know that. And I'm less awkward on here now.
Yeah.
Finally.
Yeah, you can do the intro by yourself now.
Sort of.
Well, we had to do some coaching on it, but we got there.
Had practice. Still missed my time. But
It's okay. Yeah, it's all right. I mean, I thought, before I asked you that question, I should have probably had my own answer. But I really think I've grown as a minister doing this. Like, I really feel like because it's almost in the prep work that I have to think about, but it's also like, I've said this out loud. I really think this. I need to practice it. Like, I don't want to be somebody that's like, I can say that on a podcast and then not, and then take it away and be like, oh, I didn't, I just said that. That's for the podcast.
It's just for the podcast.
Because you listeners of this podcast know me, see me with my children, see me with my wife, see me every week or twice a week or some points, or at basketball games or practice. You guys, and so, like, I have to be, or I want to be, as authentic as I can. And so sometimes some of the things that I've said on this podcast have really challenged me to be I really need to, because I agree with them. I'm not like, not changing what I say, or I'm not, but I really need to be held more accountable to it. Or it helps me stay more accountable. The rest one that we put out the other day.
Which we've heard a lot about.
We've actually gotten a lot of feedback on that one. But that's so hard for me. I'm like, I just said this and I believed this, and I even wrote a paper on part of that. Like in my class, I wrote about it. Like, I believe all of this stuff, but practicing it is way harder than I even made it sound on the episode itself. Like, I mean, it's one of those, like, do I really think rest is that important? And I do, obviously.
Right.
But I have to hold myself to the standard that I set on the podcast, but I didn't set that standard. God gave that a standard as a gift as far as the rest part. But even all the rest of the things, I've talked about our plates being too full on one of the episodes, and here I am just scooping more stuff up and putting it right on my plate,
But does it make you think before you say yes to stuff now? Because it makes me think. Because I feel like I said this out loud, And I'm fixing to say, I would love to take on these 47 more things. But I've already said I don't need to fill my plate with everything.
Yeah.
Now, do I always say no? No, I do not. But as we saw at Valentine's Day when I was a psycho.
Yeah.
But it does make me think.
Yeah, think about it.
Jump in.
And I don't think I'll ever be. I'm not very good at saying no to anything, but I also don't get asked to do a whole lot of stuff. I probably get asked to do probably half of the things that you do.
So I think Josh just said he wanted to be the DJ for the 8th grade banquet.
Hey, listen.
That's what I heard him say.
You didn't have to hear me say that. I would do that.
Perfect.
In like 2 seconds.
We have a DJ for the 8th grade banquet.
If you really want me to do it, and I will do it.
We need a DJ.
Okay. Are you in charge of that?
No.
Okay. Maybe don't ask me, but if you want, if you need me.
Oh no, I just heard you volunteer, so tell them.
I've been a DJ at a wedding before. I actually pulled triple duty at a wedding once. I was the officiant. I guess it's double duty. I was the officiant and the DJ for
It's
a
like
wedding.
videographer.
I could have probably done that, but I just didn't. But I was the DJ. It's my sister's wedding.
Sorry, off topic, guys.
You can tell we didn't prep for this episode.
I am,
and you've had an
so
eventful day today.
It's been rough.
So we'll put that's where we are. And then now, so we talk about what we've learned, and then where do you want to see this podcast go?
I keep sharing it on all these groups I'm in, and I want people to listen to it like we don't know who's listening to it. It may be bots and maybe people in other countries. But I want people to actually listen to it and be able to take something from it.
Yeah.
Whether it's just learning these people are terrible at podcasting, fine.
Yeah.
Listen to it once, Uruguay. Or they're like, hey, they're super relatable. The girl, she knows very little, but she talks a lot. And the guy is real good at theological things. That's where they go.
I'm pretty good at pretending like I know what I'm talking about.
Well, you do. I get like a good verse in there. And I got lots of practical.
I think that's your skill.
Yeah, we know.
Yeah.
It's bad. But I want people to like genuinely listen to it and take something from it. And we have a lot of friends that do that. We hear from them weekly. And they're like, oh my goodness, that episode was awesome or whatever. Or my husband calls me out because I made him move wood on Sunday instead of rest.
Instead of resting.
Ben, this is my rest.
Yeah, as I was cleaning our house yesterday, I'm like, man, we should have done this on Saturday. We should have been cleaning on Saturday. But what were we doing on Saturday? We were at basketball at 7:30 in the morning, all the way till 8:30. We got home. We had dinner because we went basketball, birthday party, dinner home. So I mean, I guess Saturday was our day of rest, but it was just kind of not a restful.
Oh, I know.
But it was a day of rest. I guess so technically, maybe. If we're trying to get into technicalities, I didn't do any work that day. But
I did.
Here we go right back to that. But
really, that's how I want it to go.
Yeah, so I guess that makes sense. So I've kind of been wrestling with this. We call this the Ropes Family Podcast. We don't say it's the FBC Ropes Family Podcast. I mean, maybe in the first couple episodes we did. But because we're podcasting in our church and at First Baptist Church in Ropesville.
Yeah.
But maybe I don't know if it's people aren't sorry, I'm making a bunch of noise. That's podcasting 101. Stop making a bunch of noise. Maybe I don't know what the barrier to other people listening to it is. If it's like, does this podcast feel like it's just for our church?
Interesting.
And I don't think it is necessarily. I mean, it's called the Ropes Family Podcast, but it's not like our name. We're not Ropes. Like our last name isn't Ropes.
No.
We're not a family. I mean, we're a church family.
Church family, not. Yeah.
So, I mean, but what I would love this podcast to do, well, honestly, I would love this podcast to get to 50 listens a week, which we're close. I just said we're at 40. I'd love for that to be consistent, just 40, 50 a week. I'd love to have that. But my main goal of this podcast is to sharpen iron. Iron sharpens iron. And I think that you and I do a great job at that, keeping each other sharp in the things that we need to do as parents, but also as like the camaraderie. But that's what I want to do with this podcast is be the good iron for people to come at them or to present something that's saying like, hey, we're right where you are. We're not any better, any worse. We might be worse, but we're right here trying our best. And this is what we do, and this is what we're called to do, and we know it's hard. I think I say probably in every episode, that's really hard for us to do. I know it's hard. But
I always say, I'm not saying I'm good at it, but I always say that.
I just say, I know it's hard because it is hard to do some of the things that we're called to do as Christians and as Christian parents. And so that's what I'd like to do is just this podcast to grow to maybe the region or other people, or so that's your family challenge. Maybe is to share this with people, and maybe more than just share it on Facebook. Maybe just like give a little blurb or say I've been listening to this podcast and they're really cool. The guy is monotone and he'll
the girl's really loud.
He'll help you go to sleep, and the guy's monotone. So if you need to do that,
that's one of the most hilarious things I got told after the first 2 or 3 episodes is Josh whispers and then you come in and you're yelling. And I was like, oh.
That was when I was trying to learn how to mix and master a podcast on post edited.
Oh, gotcha.
So I was trying to learn how to do all that stuff.
Well, I think I've learned not to be out of control too.
Well, and I've got your mic turned down and I got mine turned down.
Oh, that's so sad. I got my mic turned down.
Well, and there's logistical reasons why. Your podcast, your mic is a different kind of mic than mine. That's what yours is. Yours has power going to it. I know yours is phantom power. So for all the nerds that want to listen to it, yours is phantom powered. So it adds 48 volts of extra power.
Yeah, it's not my voice, guys.
And so it's literally Courtney's microphone.
It's the microphone.
And mine is different. Mine doesn't have that phantom power. Mine is just a regular Unity power. Dynamic is what they.
I'm gonna get me a new podcasting mic. It's gonna hang from the ceiling.
We could do that. Maybe we do that. Maybe we. I don't know. Video podcasting might be something out of our realm, but we tried it a couple times.
Ew.
We tried it a couple.
Y'all see what I look like?
It just takes a little bit more prep work, We got to be prepped and we got to look good or whatever, I get it.
Socks with Crocs. That's
yes.
what I had on today. So.
Cardigans and shorts and stuff.
It's good.
But yeah, maybe we can do that. I don't know. We'll think about that. But if you guys, our listeners, the ones who consume this podcast, if you guys have any ideas on stuff, things, topics. Maybe it doesn't have to be whatever Josh or Courtney want to talk about. Yeah. Maybe it could be whatever our listeners want to talk about. So that'd be great. And there is a little link to click to send us a text in the podcast description. I think it works. I tried it the other day. Maybe it works. It takes a long time to get from that initial text to us. So I don't see it for ever. But if you have sent it, let me see if we got any, and we'll answer it.
Or most of y'all have our phone numbers.
Yeah, most of you have our phone numbers or run into us. Or,
I forgot someone sent me an idea the other day, and I totally blanked until right now.
Let's see. This is just a lot of insider baseball here. It's called fan mail, actually. I haven't. So if you have done a text us thing, we haven't got it yet. So sorry, but if you want to do that, and those of you who have texted us. On our regular phones, texting, that's great too. So that's what we're here for. That's what we want to do. This podcast got way too long because we didn't prep for it.
Yep.
But I'll edit it down. I'll make it good.
Cool.
So the family challenge, just share it. Talk about it. Or don't. That could be your family challenges. Maybe not do that. That's how I've been having to parent my 3-year-old recently is I tell him to do something, and then he's not going to do it, so I tell him, don't do it.
Yeah, we used to do that.
Do not do that under any circumstance.
So my middle child would be like, all right, and he'd walk away, and I was like,
He's like, fine, I won't do it, and it doesn't work. It doesn't work that well, but we got hard-headed children, so.
Yeah, we do.
But anyway, you got anything else?
Mm-mm.
All right, so for the 85th time over the last 2 years, that's all we have for you this week. We will come at you next week with something else. Maybe it's whatever Josh wants to talk about.
This idea that this person sent me.
Technically, 75 of the last 80 episodes have been whatever Josh wants to talk about.
It's good.
The ratio is pretty high on whatever I want to talk about versus whatever you want to talk about. Actually, we're getting kind of closer. Maybe it's like 60-40. Or maybe it's like, I don't even know at this point.
You can just tell when you're really passionate because you'll talk for like 99% of the episode and I'll say, yeah, great idea.
All right, well, we'll talk to y'all later. Peace. Congratulations on 2 years, Courtney.
Yes.
We've made it.
Yes. Winners.
All right, we'll talk to y'all later. Peace.